American stand-up comedian, actor, writer, producer, and film director Chris Rock began his career during his days at the Saturday Night Live team. Since then, he's risen to pretty great heights. So here's how he spent his $60 million net worth. If you've ever seen a picture or a video of Chris Rock, you'll agree that he's often seen sporting shades or glasses. This might be one of his regular old accessories, but that doesn't mean his shades are any kind of cheap. On the contrary, his preferred ones are always designer products, and his first choice is from Icy Berlin, which cost around $500 a pair. At the 2016 Emmy Awards, he wore a pair of Robert Mark eyeglasses. These glasses maker, Mark, is known for his handcrafted frames and the utilization of a matte finish. Given the frequency with which Rock wears glasses, it would make sense he'd be willing to pay top dollar for a good pair. Robert Mark glasses can get pretty pricey fast, going up as high as $1,000. Chris Rock's homes sure do look fabulous, especially when they cost $3 million. His neighbors also happen to be very famous, like Tracy Morgan, Lil' Kim, Russell Simmons, so it makes sense that his neighborhood is favored by some famous people. It's also one of the most expensive places in the country. It's between $4.25 million and $5.6 million, and it features several acres of manicured grounds, a large pool, a lounge area, 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms. Being a great celebrity depends on a lot of things, and one of those things is the ability to look cool and remain cool. And let's be frank, looking cool is pretty expensive, but that doesn't matter when you're a man like Chris Rock. He once mentioned that he has a very large sneaker collection, and he had the chance to add to it while shopping with Complex on their regular series Sneaker Shopping. Chris said that one of his favorite brands is Kanye West's line, Yeezy. He said that he likes to wear them on tour because he feels like they convey a strong presence. Regardless, Chris Rock spent over $2,000 in the sneaker shopping video, and that's him when he's shopping on a whim. If he's an avid collector of Yeezys, he's probably spent upwards of $15,000 for his collection. Like every rich person around ever, Chris Rock has a couple of cars. And while we talk about all of them later in this video, this car gets a little bit of a priority. Not because of the cost though, even though $70,000 isn't small change. It's mostly because of how happy he was when he got the car. While this SUV might not appeal to a large audience, especially celebrities, Chris Rock apparently likes his ride, giving you a new perspective of him. It's sure his cheapest car that we're going to cover here. While it's normal for people to have a couple of activities that they enjoy and call hobbies, only celebrities and the super mega rich people have hobbies that cost over $100,000. Chris Rock loves his sports, and he's pretty partial to the New York Knicks basketball team. He definitely isn't the only Knicks fan around, though. But I'm not sure you'll know anyone else that's going to shell out that much money to get courtside seats for every single Knicks game. I mean, hey, go big or go home, though, right? That's how the old saying goes. So I've already stated how much of a sneaker fan Chris Rock is, which is a confirmed fact. His love for sneakers isn't limited to just Yeezys alone. Chris has also mentioned that he's into many other types of sneakers, like Air Jordans or Balenciagas. He also made it clear that he ain't afraid to pay top dollar for his sneakers. Considering he has a whole stack of them at home, he's been wearing Air Jordans way before he ever made their big comeback. He was even photographed wearing them on the cover of one of his first albums. In addition to those, Chris Rock's also been spotted on several different occasions wearing stylish Balenciaga sneakers. While you might consider the Air Jordans cheap because they cost a couple $100, it's less likely the average person can be able to pay for Balenciaga shoes, which can cost 10 times that amount. Altogether, his footwear collection is probably worth around $50,000. Don't be fooled by the Dodge Durango, not even for a single second. While this might seem like a very unlikely car for a celebrity, Chris Rock definitely has celebrity-worth cars too. Yeah, no, I'm talking about the Rolls-Royce Phantom. This is one of his latest additions into his garage, and this one car is definitely gonna blow your mind. This car's super dope. It has everything that you need to have in a super classy car to get to your destination, all for $500,000. All of the stars are known to adorn themselves with nice-looking pieces of jewelry, and it makes it even more unsettling when those pieces cost a couple $1,000s. But that's the life of a celebrity. Nobody wants to step out looking less than they really are. He's also known to get a bunch of diamond accessories for himself, and you can bet that they're very expensive to the point where he ain't gonna step out of his home without wearing some diamond studs. They range in size too, though, from smaller sized gemstones to very large ones. Now you're probably saying, what makes those studs so special? Well, these studs are original diamonds, and depending on the number of carats that each one is, each pair of studs could cost over $10,000. A man like Chris Rock is sure to have a couple of interesting and exquisite watches to his name. I mean, what would you expect of him? Every random person out there knows how expensive Rollies are. These watches do not come cheap, especially them big chonkers. At one point in his life, when Chris Rock needed his friend help to rewrite a movie, Chris gave them both a gift. He gave Tina Fey and Louis C.K. $5,000 and a Rolex Submariner watch. On the back of each watch was the inscription, "Thanks, motherfucker." Very brotherly thing to say, though, after getting a hand. The watch's model comes in oyster steel, in either white and yellow or two-tone. This watch was made famous by James Bond, mostly because it's a sports watch that still shows luxury. This watch also costs at least $20,000 and is worth every penny. Chris Rock has been in the game for a long time, and he's managed to accumulate a lot of money, so it's not super far-fetched for him to have a luxury yacht. Very fancy big boat. Reports say that he's got 3 of them. There isn't much info about his yachts, though. Does he own them, rent them, are they friends? We just don't know. I don't know about you, but I've not heard of this model of Lamborghini. This is just how old this car is, and it's got a lot of history behind it. This bad boy was launched at the 1966 Geneva Motor Show, and it has a transversely mounted Bizzarini-designed 350 horsepower 4.0-liter V12 engine. No, it's not as fast as the new model Lamborghinis, especially with a top speed of 180 miles per hour. Yet it is one of the most expensive models available. This car is said to be between $1 to $3 million worth at auctions. Speaking of other cars, Chris Rock doesn't really have a lot of cars in his collection, but the ones he does have are hella expensive. Another one of his super expensive cars is the Bugatti Veyron. This car is worth $1.9 million and is super fast, with a top speed of 258 miles per hour. His other cars are a Tesla Model X worth about $110,000, a Volvo XC90 worth about $60,000, and a Range Rover Autobiography worth almost $200,000. For a small car collection, the cars here are pretty impressive. Now you're probably wondering, where did the Maserati come from? Chris Rock never bought that car? Yeah, you'd be right. Rock didn't get himself a Maserati. Adam Sandler did. And while he didn't have to drop the cash for the ride, he did have to take care of other things. Yeah, no, the maintenance of the car. Unfortunately, while your new gift might be worth several $1,000s, it also means the maintenance of such an expensive gift ain't gonna be cheap either. It's normal and almost expected for a celebrity like Chris Rock to have more than one house. Every celebrity out there has more than one home to themselves. Talk less of a man who's worth over $60 million. And Chris Rock's Brooklyn home is a really amazing place to live. This house is a 2-bedroom building spanning 3,700 square feet. The kitchen has a private bar with a sitting area, plus there's that roof terrace, a patio with the barbecue, and a private 2-car garage. Though it was built somewhere in the 20th century, it's been prepared for a modern resident, with new appliances all around. However, some of the original decors were left behind, like the wooden beams and exposed brick. According to the listing, Rock purchased the 3-story house in the 90s when he first starred on Saturday Night Live. Unlike some New York City residences, this one's got plenty of space. However, he must have really liked his New Jersey mansion because he hardly ever stayed in his house. Instead, he put his Brooklyn home up for rent for $8,000 a month. Now he's permanently listed at it for $3.9 million. While Chris Rock is earning a boatload of cash from stand-up comedy and his other ventures, he isn't just using all that cash to buy expensive stuff and live a lavish life. Oh no! Chris Rock is thinking about the future. He's come up with a great idea. Chris has decided to invest some of his cash into company stocks. He owns an investment portfolio of 14 stocks valued at $20 million, and these companies include Delta Airlines, General Motors, Amazon, Coca-Cola, Microsoft, Walmart, Tesla, and Starbucks. Give it 10 years and the guy's going to be worth over $100 million. And hey, that brings us to the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, go truck yourself.